Hey guys, Derek Hansen here, and today I'm talking to you about marketing for next to nothing. That's right. Doing the marketing for a new business can be really difficult, and sometimes you may not have the money to jump in there and spend like other businesses do. And so it's something worth considering. So I thought I would just hop into this and let you kind of explore with me some of my thoughts for what a business might do on the cheap. So first of all, if we just jump in here, if you notice, I did a quick registry of the Oregon Business Registry. And so just a quick thought on that, first of all, is like, way to go to you if you're starting a business. You know, so many people need jobs, and so you providing them and hustling and working hard, way to go to you. So good job. But that being said, for those of you maybe thinking about it, it might be something worth doing so that later on, maybe you don't get any financial issues with the IRS or whatever. So just consider it. Take a look at it. It usually costs about $200. So again, like I said, nearly next to nothing. But that being said, what do you need next, right? Maybe you need a brand, right? A business name. So if you can, try to make sure that whoever you're buying or the business that you're starting doesn't have another name next to it, okay? So that being said, if we go into this logo, freelogoservices.com, and look at that, they got a bunch of different logos. I think this is free. I'm not 100% sure, but that's what it's kind of selling me on. And so one cautionary mention to you is that perhaps one of those logos are like someone else's, so just consider that. And but if you're just trying to hang out the shingle and get started, this might be a great way to get that branding really fast. And then what about an elevator pitch, right? Maybe you need to do sales. Convincing someone to buy from you sometimes is really challenging. And so you're not necessarily a copywriter. Maybe you've never done sales before. Maybe something like this would help. So at Improv Andy, there's an elevator pitch generator. Now, the one problem I have with this is I went through this whole thing. I provided my information right in there, and I still haven't gotten an email. So I don't know if it's gotten into some abyss somewhere or if I can get a bunch of spam later. But if that's the case, dude, feel sorry for me. No, I'm just kidding. But I'll let you know what happens. The other site that might be really interesting to you is copywriting course with the K.com and elevator pitch. So pretty cool in here. I put in my name, I put in this information, and now it spits this. Here's your custom 3-floor elevator pitch. Hey, I'm Derek. Owners have a hard time marketing themselves, but are great at what they do. Take care of your marketing so that you stay in the zone. So that's kind of a short nutshell of what it is. And obviously, I've got to work on my own elevator pitch. So any case, work on it. Let me know what you come up with. That'd be kind of cool. There's a GitHub thing if you're kind of technical, and you could download this. It was based off of Harvard Business Review, who had a elevator pitch generator, and I can't find it everywhere I click now. It seems to be a broken link, and so poof, it's gone. But hey, lo and behold, GitHub has a similar thing that someone created and posted in here, so you can give it a shot. I don't know, but I didn't. So the next thought is, right, you've got your branding, you need a business logo or business cards, right? And that's really where that whole business logo thing started. And I think I closed down my thing. But if we go into Google really quick and just throw in free business cards, there's a lot of different things in here to choose from. Now, if you notice here, there's $100 free business cards. The one challenge on this is that you're going to pay for shipping. So if I clicked on this, which I did right now, and I see this little hot price thing scrolling up, show options. Oh, oops, I need to put it in my zip code. So I'm going to do a Portland zip code. And there we go. And if I show options, it's going to be about $15.45 to ship. So like I said, it's not free, but nearly next to free, cheap marketing. Okay, so now that we've got our business cards, we've got our, elevator pitch, we've got a logo out there. You can get a free phone number. If I go to Google really quick and I go Google Voice, lo and behold, you click on this, and there's your phone number, right? So you can choose a free phone number, really easy as VoIP, or you could use your mobile phone. You probably have one of those. And so it just depends on what you are thinking about or what you need as a business. And then we get to promoting your business, okay? So one of the first things that I would do is go to Google My Business, and you can start now. And if I click on this link here, right, it's going to take me over to Maps, and I can fill out my information. Now, sometimes I know many of you people might be a little scared about, oh no, my address is in the public now or whatever. I'll just tell you, I know a number of businesses out there who've actually had an address out in the public. It was their own home, and they hardly ever had any problems. In fact, I know of no one, but there might be some out there. And so as long as you're trying to do good business and you're trying to take care of your customers, I don't think it's anything that you necessarily have to be afraid of. Okay, so you fill out this information, and once you fill out this kind of thing and you put it into Google, right, there's a way that you can build out a website in sites.google.com. And so you can just say, I want a new Google site, right? And so you click on this link here, and then start your first site, get started. Boom. Right, there you go. So the one problem with this, it's going to be a subsite of Google. Now the nice thing is if you filled out that map information that I was showing you just a few moments ago with images and your logo and other stuff, it will auto-populate all of these things in. Now what Google's hoping that you'll eventually do is buy a domain from them, and then you could use their service possibly to post onto that. In any case, this is something I would do if I were you. But again, a free option for a website. Wix, again, another perfect choice as far as hanging your shield now, or shingle. Now, one problem I see with this is that if you were to actually use this for the long term, I think there's certain issues with SEO and things like that. It's not going to be a long-term solution for you, but that being said, it's a free choice, and you can get stuff up and running pretty quickly without having to spend a lot of money to get there. And so one other option on the website thing is WordPress.com. You can build a site for free and host it on the .com. Again, it's kind of like that Google thing, but one thing that separates WordPress from these other sites is it's a lot more powerful in that you can actually grow your business, have an e-commerce site, and they'll allow you to buy a domain and host it with them if that's something you upgrade to later, seeing that you're being a company that's just crushing it out there. So I wanted to say good job to you if you're getting to this. And so then if you get that website, right, analytics really matters. There's a plugin with WordPress that allows you to have analytics with it. It's called Jetpack, but it's not super robust. But if you buy your domain, if you buy a website, you can, or you put together one through WordPress.org, which is the free open source version of this, and you can put it on a domain on your own. You should put it on Google Analytics. That way you know how successful am I being with this business of mine, right? So you could just take a look at that. The next thing I would do is then go into social media, right? And so you can go and create a page. It's just facebook.com/pages, and you can start filling out this information. So I'm a local business or a place, a company, a brand, a product, a public figure, whatever you are, you can go in here and bust it out. For that, right? And then hop in here, YouTube, right? So I'm kind of addicted to some of these, how-tos, TEDx videos, yada yada. I'm trying to build my own YouTube brand. But if you have the props to talk, if you have the ability to get in front of a screen and talk to people, then I would say get into video. Facebook allows you to do it. Twitter, YouTube, and then there's all kinds of other Vimeo. You can post videos all over the place if you have the time and the effort. So this is kind of just your own sweat equity, right? You're just trying to get your name out there and get in front of other people. Twitter, join the community. And I think that's probably one of the most important things is to get out there and share your story, connect with other people. One problem I see sometimes with people people posting on Twitter sometimes that they like to just promote themselves a whole bunch, and they're not in that conversational mode, or they're not sharing the information that's really helpful to others. It's all about themselves, and I think that's just part of our culture. But that being said, getting out there and helping out others is really important. And then LinkedIn, obviously, build a professional profile. But I think there's a lot of customers out there who you can go and connect with, and then just kind of share your story with them. And, it's typically really easy to go find it. But this is an important piece, because if you got your elevator speech and now you've got a way to connect with them, it's a good way to follow up also when it comes to networking. And so we'll touch on that in a moment. And then another one, obviously, Pinterest, right? To share your story, to short images. Here I am within a page. And I can just share stuff, add my image, add a destination URL, and then off to the races we're going, right? And then another free option that I would definitely consider is MailChimp. You can sign up here for free, as you can see. If I click on this link, which I have, sign up for free. Not quite what I was expecting. That was one of our clients' emails, apparently. But pricing, if I go to pricing, right, new business, free forever, right? So the details on that, 2,000 contacts, a great way to just keep top of mind. And so, one of those things you can promote, creating content around that. And, back to that website thing, is one thing about WordPress is maybe you should blog a little bit. And then that way you can have content to feed to and say, hey, go look at this blog post I wrote, and then you could share it onto social media. So it's kind of like an overall strategy. And then I would say, okay, outside of those social pieces, including MailChimp, kind of lump it in their promotion side, is, let's say you go in and you have some products or services. If you notice, there's a place you can go to for sale or services, and you can offer your kind of work out there for free. Or maybe you want to look out in gigs, right? And you can click on something like this and see what are people actually looking for, or what are they offering out there. And maybe you have the opportunity to grab some work. If you've got a service, or if you've got a product, you can offer it here, or you can offer your services there. And then OfferUp, I think, is a great app. There's quite a few different apps out there, but if you got some sort of product, or maybe let's say you're a new consignment or something else, right? You can post all kinds of stuff out there. eBay, another great place, right? Kind of that idea, but I figured you'd probably go there. Alignable, I think this is a great site where maybe you can network, do word of mouth, offer referrals, kind of cool tool. So I know people use this, so I've used it, but again, free to start, get going, get out there, hang up your shingle, and you're off to the races. Groupon, and I know sometimes some businesses are like, Groupon, I'm not sure what to think of that, right? But if I go back here, and so I want to go back out, and I want to say, let's see here, Groupon for businesses. Right, promote your business and profit-driven online marketing. Cool, very cool. Sounds good. But if you go in here, you'll notice that really this is free to get going. You just get started. See how Groupon can work for you. Get started. All right, cool. I want to get started, and they want me to call them. But basically, the way Groupon works is that they offer you a free, a place to offer your products or services, and then what they do is they just take the profits from the sale, and then they write you a check. And so it's a great way to just get out in front of a bunch of people really quickly. So that's cool. To get started, one thing to think is, well, do I have the margins for it? Not every business does, but sometimes it might be worth considering to get your name out there, especially if you're just getting started. And then looking at classifieds. So, Oregon Live, which we're in the Portland area, and if you just look at this, you can go and post something, right? Business listings, keyword, find a local business or add something, right? You can just get your name out there, start putting up products or services. And then I would get to that networking side of things. Meetup is a great place, right? So if you've got a service or if you got something you want to get in front of people, the more you're able to share your story, the better, right? And so you can then feed in whatever you meet from these type of things and then go out and add that to your LinkedIn, connect with them and use the email marketing piece to get in front of other people. BNI. Now, this is typically kind of expensive. It's like $600, $700 a year to be a part of their team. There's other networking ones that are a little cheaper, maybe a tip or something like that. But being said, is usually they allow you 2 free visits. So the cool thing with that is if you show up to their business, right, there's enough BNIs in the Portland metro area that you could probably visit each one at least twice until you get to a place that maybe you're able to sell. Now sometimes there's a shared spot, so like there can be conflict, but sometimes like someone doesn't like that guy or girl, or maybe that service isn't offered there, or maybe your products aren't offered there, and so it just might be a good way to just be able to like meet with some of those people. And then if you take the opportunity to follow up with them, well, even better, right? And then network after work. Now, if you live in a metropolitan area, I think this is a really great place to meet good 100 people. Usually I can't meet 100 people in a night, but I can meet somewhere between 20 and 40, depending on how hard I work a room and how much time I spend with people, and whether or not I find the kind of people that I think really matter to me. So that's where we go back to the elevator pitch and that business card, because those 2 things are really important when it comes to networking. Now, one thing to think about when you are networking is that you want to make sure that you're the one following up, because a lot of people, even though they're out there trying to network, they're not always really following up. So I don't always get it, but that's just the fact of life for many of these businesses. So something to consider. And then Chamber of Commerce, again, like BNI, they allow you 2 free visits, and there's usually 50 to 100 or more at one of these places, and so you can meet people, connect with them, and again, follow up later, really important, so that you can pitch them your business idea, and also obviously hear from them later. But that's the free way of going to these. They usually happen in the morning, so yeah, you're going to need to get up early, and look your best. But having that elevator pitch will really help you stand out from the crowd there. And then the next thing is just looking at your city events. So you could just, if you notice, events 12, events, fairs, festivals. So that's one great thing to think about, right? Are there concerts? Are there games? Are there places that you can go hand out card or stand or sell something? Kind of be a nuisance in one way, but you're just out there trying to get your name out. And so Uber's been really great in that sense, is that they go out to a lot of events and they are handing out cards for free ride up to $20 or something like that, right? And so that's a really great opportunity for you to get out there and, pass out something if there are things that you have that would be beneficial to those business owners. And then this is kind of another thing, is like understanding your business area. And so here's a map of Portland. So let's say outdoor sales, right? That could be a great thing, whether it's consumer or business. Now, it takes a lot of hard work, but sometimes walking or showing up or canvassing can be a great way to like get your product or service out to other companies. I know at my house, sometimes I get these little flyers taped. Someone's walked around the neighborhood and taped a lawn care service to my door or something like that. And so you can do that. Just get a printer and print it out and start canvassing. That can be great. Or showing up into a business, right? One way to do this, though, is if you go to USPS in the EDDM, Every Door Direct Mail. Now, you're not necessarily mailing. You can if you have the money for that. But if you're mailing, right, you could go 97214. That's a Portland zip code. So 97214, and it's going to load up for me a map. Now, what's really interesting to me is I can then discover, how many residents are in here, how many businesses, and what particular places, what's the median age, what's the population, how much money are they making, things like that. And so if my tickets are high and I'm going for, richer people, or if there's just a lot of businesses in a particular zip code, so you could go by zip code, and then you can start hitting each of one of those places along the way. And so, here's my tips for getting out there as a business. So if you're a startup, again, good job to you. I hope that this was really helpful. Maybe you can share with me in the tips of things that you are doing. And if you have any other ideas or your thoughts on this video, I'd love to hear them. Again, thanks for watching. My name is Derek Hansen, and hope to see you next time.